All right, welcome to your table centerpiece. So anytime you have a startup meeting, you're going to want to continue the reinforcement of the theme even all the way down to your table centerpiece. So within our room, we opened up two rooms, made one large room out of two rooms here in our church. And we have 6 tables in this room. So we generated 6 tabletops. And how do you again reinforce your theme? Well, I thought how fun it would be to create a table runner out of something that you just wouldn't think of. So here we have a snow mesh or a construction warning zone mesh that is easily to be cut, put down as a table runner. And think about this medium. You could use this on your stage. You can cut it into tiny strips. You could cut it in half. You could keep it long and doing what those dryer vents did and just whipping around from your ceiling, or you could keep it flat just like this. So this is working great for us. So we picked 2 colors that contrasted really well, and I love this base. So we wanted the opportunity to elevate our work. So we've got this base, which is an HVAC, heating, ventilating, air conditioning duct that you can get in your hardware store, and boom, you have this automatic, awesome platform on which to build. So I'm so excited about that. And you can get round ones, you can get rectangular ones, you can get square ones, and it's a pretty inexpensive medium to really reinforce your theme and bring a lot of impact. So up top here, we have a piece of pegboard, also from the hardware store. It comes in 4-foot by 8-foot sheets. We cut it down into 18-inch squares, and we painted it black, and it's got all these awesome holes with which to work. So this is the medium that would typically be hanging in your garage that you would have hooks on to hang your tools and stuff from. So instead, we're just using it as a way to weave in and out. So we're just trying to continue the concept of looking wacky and a little wild. And we have this weed whacker string. It comes in many colors, at least 4 colors that I know of, and we put on each side, we've got green, the yellow, and the orange, and just instantly you just have such a great use of these holes to generate excitement and to just be really fun and to be really easy. So once again, we have the glassware that I talked about that we got from the thrift store, and it was just really cheap. And so think about that. If you had this at your house and you bought it full retail, you probably spent $30 on that. But we got all of our products, probably a larger one was $1.99, and it was just cheaper from there. And a lot of people had stuff that they just brought in from home as well. So quickly with a labeling system, which is another unifier. So the same labels, the caution, biohazard, warning, toxic, that we used in a large scale in the background, we've reduced those down to a small scale. And if you remember from seeing the stuff hanging from the ceiling, we had lots of these hanging from the ceiling. So we're unifying our room. We're graphically uniting things together by using things in a small scale as well as in a large scale. So, this is just something I got out of a book. I just thought it would be a fun base layer with which to add our labels. And once again, to buy these test tubes from the party store. Now this is really fun right here. So this is a Mentos gum container, and you take off the label, you add a tea light, and you have something that is instantly a lot of fun. Now you might not be able to see that far away from a stage, but it certainly works great as a tabletop apparatus. All right, so you'll notice the fun colors in our glassware. So that is just simply water and food coloring. I mean, you could get a little crazier and you could drop a plastic spider in some of those. We actually had some celery in these large ones in the middle, and the heads of celery that have that green leafy stuff at the top. It looked really neat seeing that through the glass. It's not in there anymore. It got taken out. So another fun thing is you can take just cheap Petri dishes, and besides doing a snack with a Petri dish or even a craft, for our purposes, we reinforce that biohazard slime theme. And this is hand sanitizer that you add a couple drops of food coloring to, add a label to, add some party sprinkles, some cupcake sprinkles in there. Now ours have kind of dissolved, but when you first put them in, they look really fun and they separate nice. Add a label and you just have something that instantly really reinforces your theme and is a lot of fun. So these are, once again, drains that you can buy in the hardware store. Now I went ahead, I wanted to use these as a light device to put a tea light underneath and create kind of like a little sconce. And the light wasn't showing very well, so I went ahead and painted inside, spray painted inside white. And it got a lot more brilliant, reflecting the light. So I thought that those added a lot. It was a cheap, easy way to bring interest to the low portions of your table. So we also had hanging periodic table signs, and we have low periodic table signs. So we've got some on the ground, some stuck in our black and white straws, which is really fun. This black and white reinforces the black and white that's on our labeling. So once again, we're taking something that we did big, reducing it down and using it small, again, unifying your room and your displays. So we did fun things too in this rear jar, which is such a fun shape. You know, adding a little tiny slinky to give it some texture and cuteness. Again, another quick label. And adding those scented room deodorizer balls in there that come in all kinds of colors. And so even this guy, you know, you put green in there, add a label, the word danger, and you've got something that's really exciting. So I think it's awesome that for a pretty little amount of money, and once you have the concept down of what to do, you can execute this pretty well. These guys are glow-in-the-dark necklaces. So those come from the party supply store, and they're in a really long, flat package, and they come in a tube. And then you take them out, and they come with the connectors if you want to make them a necklace. But for our purposes, we stick them through those holes, and again, it's that zany, fun look that for pennies you can reinforce your theme. And again, we have our mop heads that I cut down. So for instance, it came pretty large and I wanted it to go farther, so I cut it down, and we've got it in one of our plumbing containers that I got from the hardware store. And again, you got something that really didn't take all that long, but looks really great. So again, we're using these holes, and we've got a rocket that we stuck in each of our 6 centerpieces. This guy's being stubborn to get out. But again, you could cut down a float, what do you call those? A noodle. Cut down a float noodle for this portion that you wrap your wrapping paper around. We use tissue box holders, added a party hat at the top and some streamers, stuck it on a snow stake that you get at your hardware store. It was a very quick and easy way to do something that gives you a ton of height and a ton of energy once you enter this room and you see all of these rockets that are nice and tall. And